because of you. So I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it, because I know that there are 3 things that the government hopes that you will never figure out: the patterns, the power, and the cracks. Because if you ever connect the dots, if you ever stop seeing every crisis as isolated and start recognizing the system underneath it all, it's not just awareness, it's a threat to their control. So here's your reminder: the patterns. It is the same playbook every single time. They don't invent new strategies, they just recycle the old ones, just updated for the moment. Surveillance went from wiretaps to the Patriot Act to AI facial recognition. Redlining didn't die. It became zip code-based school funding. An algorithmic lending bias. The war on drugs turned into mandatory minimums and stop and frisk policies. And now, they're rolling it all back under crime waves and border threats. They rename oppression faster than they can ever reform it. And when we do catch on, they dress it up as national security or public safety. Pattern recognition is survival. Number 2 is the power. This is why they keep us distracted. You're not powerless, you're just deliberately overwhelmed. They flood you with headlines, crisis fatigue, and fake choices. Because if people ever stopped arguing and started actually organizing, all of this shit would collapse. You think they're scared of voters? No, they're scared of coordinated strikes, though. You think they care about tweets? Try mass disruption. Every time we've made real progress, labor rights, civil rights, voting rights, it only came after the system was made uncomfortable. That's why they pay influencers to sell apathy. That's why they dangle identity as a wedge. Because divided people don't demand change. They just debate each other. They don't care how loud you get as long as you stay disorganized. Number 3 is the cracks. This system is not stable, just heavily guarded. They act like it's unbreakable, but it's not. It's fragile as hell. But held together by guns, propaganda, and fear. Corporations loot openly, but you're scared to miss work. Yep. Cops beat protesters and call it crowd control. The same law they use to prosecute you, you can use to gum up the system, but nobody teaches you that, right? And here's the part they really hope you don't say out loud. When people start acting like they've got nothing to lose, the system listens fast. Yes. Nobody's glorifying violence, let me be clear. But let's stop pretending that peaceful protest is the only language that this system understands. Fear doesn't move them. Consequences do. They don't fear you knowing the truth. They fear you acting on it. They fear you connecting the patterns. They fear you linking arms instead of debating. They fear you realizing that this system has holes, but only if you know where to look. So this is your reminder: you're not crazy. You're not paranoid. You're paying attention. And once enough of us stop waiting for permission to fight back, that's when the balance will be forced to shift. So I've said this before.
Yeah.
We talked about that earlier when we, in our previous video, when we did the, when we had King as the guest on our show.
Yes.
And we played the older video and we talked about how it just kept revising, renaming itself, the laws and what they were doing to the welfare system. And that goes back to what she's saying. Everything just kept reinventing itself, how it started from the welfare system and then with drugs funding in our community and then policing on crime and then into mass incarceration. So how it just keep re-evolving.
Distractions.
And then as far as the distractions, constantly pinning us against each other. Now we're on a black woman, black man war. So once she's right, and I have always said this about our peaceful protests, that is no longer working. And no matter what, people can say we don't want to move into a physical aspect as a protest because then they will pull out the military on us. Well, they do that on policeful protests. Do they harm us? So what is the difference? And because we are majority and not minority, that when we form and we start to take those strides, they are forced to listen. One thing I have realized about our colonizers and white America is the reason why the system and everything has been set up since slavery is because they're afraid that we're going to turn around and be violent and do the things to them. So as long as we are peaceful and kumbaya, they will continue to have a foot on our necks.
Absolutely. And another thing is just like, for an example, when we were kumbaya and when everything was okay, aka MLK Jr., and
assassinated.
He was assassinated. And the reason he was assassinated was because of the simple fact, if you listen to his speeches after I Have a Dream leading up to his death, you can hear him of how he didn't lose hope.
No.
But his focus changed.
Yes.
On how he viewed everything. People talk about MLK, but they forget to talk about the speeches leading up to his death.
It's not that they forgot. It's just white America, once again, with history, they prevent certain knowledge to be out. We constantly hear that I Have a Dream speech because it spoke unity. But Looney is correct. MLK, the reason why he was assassinated, because he realized by pushing African Americans into equality and a non-segregated world, it did not mean equal. And he realized that he had directed the black people to make the wrong choice. And he started to change his mind because he realized no matter what we did, we will never be equal. So it was probably better for us to stay segregated. And that's why he was assassinated.
Well, he was assassinated.
And that's why you don't hear the past speeches after that.
I always say,
once he said after that speech, remember, he started to have meetings with Malcolm X, and we really started to commune and form.
He did a 180.
Yes.
He literally did a 180.
He wasn't killed because he practiced equality.
No,
he was killed because he started to then convince black people that it will never be equality. And once again, that will start to weigh on their fears that we're going to rise up and fight against them.
He was waking up.
He was waking up.
He was waking up, and he was actually pretty woke before he died.
And that's why I tell black people that they don't want that. That is the biggest fear. And that's why I know you want to sit there and say, well, it's you're lazy. You don't have the opportunity. You took advantage. All these things, but it is set up that way. Yeah, we have people in our community that are entrepreneurs and that are striving. But that is so it can make it seem like it is possible for you to keep striving for these things that don't think it's a foot on your neck. They are tokens. It will never be equal. We will allow a few, and even those few will let you know when they're in a room with them, they're still treated like shit because we gave you leeway, nigga.
Yep. Absolutely.
Black men, they are teaching you to have a preference because it only takes 3 generations to wash out the Negro. DNA. You procreate with the other. Y'all have a mixed child. Your mixed child most likely will then procreate with maybe a white or a mix. It takes 3 generations. And that's what they want. Understand, you are superior DNA. And it won't wash you out completely. And you are falling right into it.
Yep.
Women and men.
Yep, they do.
It only takes 3 generations to wash us completely out.
Yep. Only 3. And it's so easy too. See it happen quite a bit.
It's very easy.
Yeah, we see it happen quite a bit.
Yeah. We're witnessing it now.
Yeah, we witness it every day. I mean, I feel like I've been witnessing it since the 90s.
Yeah.
Since the 90s.
Yeah.
And, you know...
And the thing about us is, once again, like, we have lived history. Everybody that has lived, we have lived history. So, it's nothing that they can tell you. You have lived it.
That part.
You need to heal, and we need to heal. And the first part of healing is recognizing that we have been victims. And we've been victimized.
We have been.
And that's all of us. Even your mother that you hate. Her too. And maybe our generation got a little bit easier, but we already know the past generations was a lot harder.
Yep. We have more. The difference is now today is we have more freedoms, and I feel like that is the delusion that a lot of us that a lot of us take in, because we have more freedoms than our parents and our grandparents did.
We definitely have more freedoms. But I think the advantage that we have today is the internet. And it touches everyone. So we can commune from our living rooms. We have more freedoms, more access to educational material. We also have history to learn from. And we have the internet that connects us worldwide. What are you going to do with it?